Hello everyone, it is time for more stories. Not really a neckbeard story, but a story that's gonna be interesting nonetheless. This is two parts, I'm gonna read them one after the other. Both of these are written by Mr. Pancake. I told you I'd read your story eventually. So the first part is, I don't know what kind of story this is, but it's interesting. Hey guys, I'm new to Reddit, so formatting issue. I was around 13 when this happened. I was skinny, still am. I was around 5'4" or so. My sister, I'll call Pan, is a petite girl, is around 5 foot tall. I was about 18, by the way, kind of crazy, runs in the family. Her friend we'll call Silver, like Pan, very small and petite. They moved in together because paying for college is hell. And then her ex-boyfriend we'll call Stoner, because he kind of looks like a stoner, and probably was one, moved in. He was around 5'8", skinny, had this beard, and this really deep voice, like someone trying to sound 20 years older. Stoner and Pam were dating for a while till they split up. It seemed fine. He seemed like a chill dude, but over time it got worse. Near the end of their relationship, Stoner started doing a lot of drugs, so Pam kind of split up with him. After this, Pam moved out of the house to share a house with Silver. They went to some parties, stuff like that. While going to parties, Stoner started stalking them, and this happened for a while. His and my parents did eventually get him to stop this behavior. I don't know what's become of Stoner, but I hope he gets the help he needs. Pan is doing good. She's now going to a beauty school and has a cooler boyfriend. Dude's classic country boy. Silver moved out with Pam because she refused to get rid of the dog, and she was terrible at cleaning, but that's a story for another day. I did say I would read this story, so I'm going to talk to Mr. Pancake here directly, you guys. I did ask you to bring part 2, because as you saw, I finished that in roughly about 1 minute and 50 seconds. So that's the only reason that sometimes I'll pass over some of these stories, is if they're too short or if I can't really, do stuff. But on his wonderful creativity, I said this. I made that comment where I tried, it's just too short. And our friend Pancake here took it in stride, was like, no problem, I'm going to make a part 2. We'll see what we can go from there. And yes, they did. So I'm going to read part 2. I haven't read part 2 yet, but this is how we go. I talked about my sister Pan's roommate in the last story, and due to how Moonhorse said the video would be a little too short, I'm going to add this in. That is true. If you want descriptions, well, read the last part. We already did. But I'm going to add in new people and explanations for the names and changing of my sister Pan, who we'll now call Noir. The roommate Silver is named after her white silverish color hair. Noir named after her jet black hair that was originally brown. Grunkle Stan, that's an interesting name, who is my grand uncle and is like the character savage but not greedy. He does chew tobacco though, which is really gross. Ugh, it really is. I don't know how people do that. My dad we'll call Logan because, like the X-Men, he's short, snarky, and has anger issues. I like Logan. My other sister is Brune, named after her brunette-colored hair. She has another title, Queen of Sass. I mean, she is the sassiest person you will ever meet. My grandmother, Martha. I have no reason for the name anyway. She is the second sassiest person on the face of the planet. And then myself, Mr. Pancake, otherwise known as the God of Sexiness. Hey, that's my title. I don't know, I thought the name was funny. It is. Another thing, a lot of what I'm saying is secondhand information due to how I wasn't really there when the events happened, for the most part. And I might add stuff that's important, but I want to make this just a little bit longer, so, here we go. Anyway, on to the story. 3, 2, 1, Penguins? It's an old show. I don't get it. Now, after the Stoner situation, we had a time of peace until my family realized something. My sister's house, it's really a barn, sort of, that Sand gave to people for a while, was an absolute pigsty. I mean, there was trash everywhere. Dog shit everywhere. Ew. I'll explain later. It smelled like cat piss. Ugh. Now, Silver was kind of lazy and didn't like cleaning up, which really wasn't a problem for a while until she got a giant dog. A giant friggin' dog inside this little house. Now, Silver and her family actually brought 2 dogs to Noir's house. The first was a mixed dog with lab in it and something else. I don't know. I'm not a vet. Now, the dog didn't like being in a kennel. The dog, like the lab I have, hates being in a cage and actually broke out multiple times. This happened a lot of the time and caused a lot of problems, one of which being because Tommy, the fake name of the dog, is a lab and likes to tear shit up. Oh, I know this pain. And he kept doing this until he tore up Noir's bed. Ouch. Now, being sensible, my sister got really pissed off and told Silver the dog goes or they both have to go. My sister has a little dog called Willie. Make whatever jokes you want. I have a little dog, thank you. After this happened, Silver didn't bring any other dogs until Calamity. It was known to be very dangerous, however. There was also a problem because it kind of pooped everywhere and even did it on Christmas. Oh. Me being me, made the joke, hey, looks like the dog left you a Christmas present. It also peed everywhere and chewed on everything. Now, I know you're wondering, why did she kick her out? Well, she liked her a lot and didn't want her to leave because she didn't have a lot of friends. So, myself and my dad argued with her all the time, and they amount to, the dog is dangerous. And she would say, I know, but she's my friend. And it kept getting worse and worse. No, it wasn't only the dog. Silver was just kind of a gross person. She said she would clean up after her dogs and stuff, but very rarely ever did. She smoked, like, a lot, and made the house smell even worse. She also liked to walk around naked, you know, with company. What? Now, basically, after a year or two of trying to get Silver or the dog out of the house, she finally moved out. My sister might move back in with her, but at this rate it's unknown due to how Willie and Audio, Brune's dog, fight like cats and dogs. Still single, so that sucks, but that might change. This might be hopefully in a Moonhorse video. Well, I wouldn't say that I've ever gotten anybody laid, so I wouldn't really bank on that, my friend. If the story is again too short, I'll add in another story about relationships, because hey, that might be fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, and I do hope this becomes a video. Well, it just did. And let's talk about dogs for a minute. I have had problems with roommates and their animals in the past. I have had roommates whose animals like to tear up things. And I remember specifically a conversation with a roommate of mine because I had just gotten a gift when I was about, I want to say maybe like 24. My dad bought me something because honestly he did it not just for me, but he did it also to spite my stepmother, who really didn't like me. I don't know why, but she never did. And so he bought me a Stratocaster and a Line 6 amplifier. Now, for those of you who don't know a lot about guitars, these are really fucking nice. So I am thoroughly impressed. I still have them. Some of the music on this channel is actually made using that exact instrument. And so I brought this stuff back to my place, and my roommate's dog liked to tear up everything. And I made it very clear, like, I would have to, like, lock off my room anytime I wasn't there. So I made it very clear that if any point in time the dog goes in that room, I said if I come back and find either my guitar, my amplifier, chewed on, torn up, or peed on because of that dog, I will fucking kill that dog. I don't care. This was a gift from my father. It was a very expensive gift. It obviously meant a lot to him to give it to me. It means a lot to me. And if I find this shit ruined, there will be no end to my wrath. So yeah, I can understand how, you know, you can be like, alright, alright, this is not fucking cool. I can totally understand that. As for having a very small dog, I have a small dog. Her name is Chi-Chi. She also only has 3 legs. She's a rescue. And she is the nicest thing ever. She is the reason I have to vacuum the passenger seat in my truck a lot, because she sheds like crazy, and sometimes we go on trips together, and it just kind of looks like a small white dog has exploded in the passenger seat. Because there's just hair everywhere. I don't know why. And she gets really mad at me when she has to take a bath, but when Chi-Chi gets mad, she doesn't, like, growl or anything. She just gets really, really still. After the bath is over, she'll hide from me. She just disappears. And if I try to talk to her, she won't look at me. And I was like, okay. You still stank, though, which is why you got in the bath. So, I don't care if you are angry, at least you don't stink anymore. That's kind of the reason we did this. So, thank you, Mr. Pancake, for writing these stories, and I hope you guys all enjoyed this story. Stories, honestly, it was two. And if you'd like to submit your own stories, you can do that by going to r/Moonhorse Stories, and I will look at them, and we'll go from there. It might be a party. We'll find out. And if you'd like to support this channel, you can do that by going to my Patreon, or you can buy t-shirts, or stickers, or anything. I found out the website won't let me make Moonhorse-themed fedoras, and I really do want to make those, so I might have to start making those in my garage and then, like, giving them away to people. I don't know. I don't even know how to make a fedora. I'm going to have to, like, learn how to do that first. But I kind of really want to do it, because I think it'll be really funny. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. I love you all. Goodbye.